Small boat, a lot of space. Why in the world would you take a 2x4 with you cruising? Hi, I'm Nico Waters, and welcome to the Boat Galley podcast. I'm talking about 5 reasons we carry a 2x4 on board, and you might want to think about having one also. Today's episode of the Boat Galley podcast is sponsored by FastSeas.com. Plan your next passage using FastSeas, FastSeas.com. Whether you're after speed or comfort, FastSeas will find the optimum route to your destination. One of the reasons that this was created, and it was created by my husband Jeremy, was to be able to use it via inReach, where you don't need an internet connection to be able to get passage planning and routing information. FastSeas, making weather routing simple. Use coupon code GALLEY, that's GALLEY, for an exclusive 10% discount. And though we don't often use our 2x4s when we're on passage, we still carry one on board. Actually, I think there are 3 different ones of different sizes. A 2x4, a piece of lumber that is not marine grade. Why do we have it on the boat? So one of the reasons that we have it and that we use it all the time for is to prop up our hatches. We have heavy duty hatches that we have holder uppers for. I don't know what they're technically called, but we haven't installed them yet. And so these 2x4s, they're great. We can prop them up vertically so that we have more airflow. And then if it looks like it's going to squall or rain and we still want a little bit, we can put it horizontally. And we've got an open hatch that's not as open as it would be if we propped it up vertically. So 1, to prop up hatches. Second, we'll use it as a kind of an extended fiddle. We've got a work shelf in the workbench work shelf area up in the head, and it's got a fiddle on it. And we keep some little baskets on there. And actually, if we're going to be in a little bit more rolly conditions, we'll prop that 2x4 up and it acts as an extra tall fiddle. Great. Perfect for that. It's an incredible, super tough surface. If we're making canvas, if we're doing some canvas work and we need to pound in, I'm sure there's an actual physical term for it, like a real term for it that I'm not remembering right now, but we can use that as a very heavy, stable surface to pound things onto. In the same kind of vein, it's a little bit of a sacrificial cutting board for when we're using a hot knife or having to do something that might involve some really, really deep cuts or drill bits. So if we're drilling through something, we'll use that 2x4 as the backing board. No need to wreck a perfectly good cutting board or anything else like that, or worry about possibly going too far and going into the deck. So that's another use for it. And my most favorite that we're using it for on a very regular basis these days, as we're in Panama and on the boat in a marina currently, where we need to set up our bug screens every night. We've got some pretty great regular bug screens, but they've got to fit on the companionway slide. And what that 2x4 does is it holds the top edge onto the companionway slide so that it doesn't go sliding off and make the bug screen itself useless. So 5 maybe unexpected uses for a 2x4 on board. 1, as a hatch holder. 2, as a spacer or an extra tall fiddle on a shelf. 3, it's a super tough surface for pounding canvas or other supplies that you need to hammer something and you don't want to do it on a deck or on something else that might be breakable. It's a sacrificial cutting board for drilling or for hot knife work with canvas. And a nice weight, like a paperweight, except it's a 2x4 weight for holding down our bug screen. Or if you're laying something out and you need the edges to be flat, that 2x4 can act as that weight also. Sometimes it's small things that you have on board that have all kinds of strange and interesting uses, and I'm not sure I would have thought of that before we moved on to the boat and had this 2x4 and we realized how often we actually use it as we go. We've got a couple blocks. They're only, they're probably maybe 6 inches long. It's just a regular 2x4, not any kind of a marine grade piece of lumber at all. I can't wait to share an anchorage with you somewhere or a marina but hopefully in Anchorage, where you are also going to share your really cool, not particularly marine grade based pieces of kit that you have that you just find all kinds of interesting uses for. Thank you so much for listening to the Boat Galley podcast. We love hearing from our listeners. We love it when you share us with your friends. The Boat Galley is all about making boat life better, and certainly part of that is community. And that's one of the things we hope you're finding on this podcast. Have the most spectacular week.